Hello everybody, my name is Mike Myers. You may know me from my fame as the many characters in the Austin Powers series, as well as my voice in the Shrek series. And I've been on Saturday Night Live quite a few times, Wayne's World, as you can see. I'm quite the humble actor, and I'm sure I'm not a stranger to most of you. So generally speaking, my home life was good. I didn't grow up in America like some people might think. I actually grew up in a suburban Toronto, in a city called Scarborough, and I had two lovely British parents, and they're from Liverpool, England. And they weren't necessarily upscale, the one percenters, but they got me and my siblings anything I ever wanted for the most part. I would say my two biggest influences, which you can probably tell through some of the films I did, Sean Connery and just the whole James Bond movies, those had a big influence on me, and that was one of the big reasons that me and Jay Roach kind of had a big contribution when it comes to making the Austin Powers movies. And obviously being on Saturday Night Live for as long as I was, I loved John Belushi, and he was just one of the greatest guys to ever walk this earth. It's kind of a tough one, I did quite many skits back in my day. Obviously the Wayne Campbell skits stick out a lot, but honestly, Coffee Talks was pretty fun. Maybe there's something wrong with dressing up and cross-dressing, but something about playing Linda Richman, on Coffee Talks was so much fun, and something that I look back on all the time. So at face value, most people, whenever they see me in the street, the first thing they say is, "Groovy, baby." They drop the little Austin Powers reference, which is great. And then when they hear me speak, obviously, they think of Shrek. But definitely, I would say without a doubt, Austin Powers for sure. I gotta say, it was actually a pretty awesome privilege to feel so important to where I was like the main star of all of those movies. There were so many different characters, whether it was Goldmember, Dr. Evil, Austin himself, Fat Bastard. I would say my favorite that I got to play was probably Goldmember, because some of the rollerblade stunts and stuff like that were pretty interesting. Plus, skin collecting, it doesn't get much better than that. I would say the biggest actor I worked with, I worked with Ben Kingsley on the set of The Love Guru, and obviously for Austin Powers Goldmember, I was on set with a bunch of big name guys like John Travolta. We even had Steven Spielberg cameo, but I don't necessarily think that counts. So I'd say my favorite actor was probably Ben Kingsley in The Love Guru, and my favorite actress, I would probably have to go with The Love Guru again, and I'm going to say Jessica Alba, because she's something else. When I worked with Andrew Adamson and Vicky Jensen on Shrek, they were fantastic. But there's a reason I did so many movies with Jay Roach, because he's one of my favorite guys to work with, without a doubt. That's oh man, I'd like to say that I had enjoyment in one way or another with every single film or production that I've been a part of. I got hammered for The Love Guru, so that's one that comes to mind. But I would say The Cat in the Hat, which is probably an odd one, but that's one that I've only watched like once or twice, and it's one that I kind of, put my hand over my face whenever somebody talks to me about it, or whenever I see it, one way or another, if it's with my kids or, with friends or whatever. That's probably one that I'm not too proud of. So as far as Shrek goes, I haven't heard anything from the boys at DreamWorks about that. Austin Powers, on the other hand, I don't want to give a definitive answer one way or another, but let's just say, 17 years since Goldmember came out, I think we may be due for another Austin Powers movie. I'll leave it at that. my name is Mike Myers, and I would like to thank you guys so much for the opportunity to answer some of your questions. Shag you later, baby. Yeah!